The Galactic Council chamber fell silent as Ambassador Kiza gathered her data pads with deliberate slowness. Her dark eyes, which had once sparkled with enthusiasm during humanity's integration ceremonies 5 years ago, now held nothing but cold resignation. Beside her, Nick, humanity's military liaison, stood with his arms crossed, his jaw set in that peculiar human expression that the Council had learned meant suppressed anger. "The Council has made its decision," High Arbiter Velthon announced from his floating platform, his crystalline voice echoing through the vast chamber. "Humanity's request for provisional membership renewal is denied. Your species has proven too aggressive, too unpredictable for continued association." Kiza didn't flinch. She'd expected this. 3 months of deliberations, countless testimonies about human, warlike tendencies and emotional instability had led to this inevitable conclusion. The Council, in its infinite wisdom shaped by 10,000 years of carefully controlled peace, had decided that humanity was a liability. "We understand," Kiza said quietly, her voice carrying none of the passion that had once defined her speeches. "Humanity will comply with the Council's directive. We'll begin withdrawal procedures immediately." The Arbiter seemed surprised by the lack of protest. The Catharian representative actually leaned forward, his antennae quivering with confusion. Humans were supposed to argue, to fight, to demand reconsideration. That was their nature, wasn't it? "You accept this decision?" Counselor Shireen asked, her bioluminescent patterns flickering uncertainly. Nick finally spoke, his words measured and calm. "The Council has spoken. We're not welcome here. We get it. We'll pack our things and go." He placed a hand on Kiza's shoulder. "Come on, we're done here." As they walked toward the chamber's exit, something felt wrong to the assembled council members. There should have been threats, demands, or at least tears. Instead, the two humans simply left, their footsteps echoing in the oppressive silence. Within 6 hours, the first changes became apparent. The quantum communication network that connected 17,000 star systems flickered, then failed. The Catharian technical team scrambled to diagnose the problem, before realizing with dawning horror that the entire network's architecture had been designed by human engineers. The redundancy protocols, the self-repair algorithms, the elegant solutions to problems the Council had struggled with for centuries, all human innovations. Station Kepler, the massive trading hub in the neutral zone, suddenly went dark. Its fusion reactors, designed and maintained by human technicians, entered emergency shutdown. The automated systems that should have prevented this catastrophe were offline. A brief message appeared on every terminal. Human maintenance contract expired. Good luck. Within 12 hours, the Galactic Defense Grid reported critical failures across 40% of its early warning sensors. Commodore Zakor stared at his tactical display in disbelief as entire sectors went blind. Every single piece of sensor technology that made the grid viable had been either developed or significantly improved by human scientists over the past 5 years. The medical crisis hit next. Dr. Talan of the Central Health Authority received reports from across Council space, advanced surgical techniques failing, diagnostic algorithms returning errors, entire hospitals crippled. Humans had revolutionized galactic medicine, introducing concepts like triage and rapid response protocols that had saved millions of lives. Now those systems were collapsing without the humans who understood them. By the 24th hour, High Arbiter Velthon stood before his now frantic council. How did we not see this? Counselor Shireen's bioluminescence had turned a distressed purple. They were everywhere, in every system, every critical infrastructure point. Because we didn't look. Nick's voice came from the chamber's entrance. He'd returned, but not as a supplicant. Kiza stood beside him, her expression unreadable. We didn't integrate into your society through force or manipulation, Kiza said, walking slowly down the central aisle. We did it by being useful, by solving problems, by caring about outcomes more than protocol. Nick pulled up a holographic display. Your quantum network? Humans fixed the cascading failure problem you'd lived with for 3,000 years. Your trading stations? We introduced dynamic load balancing. Your defense grid? Our pattern recognition algorithms increased threat detection by 67%. You sabotaged us, the Arbiter accused. No, Kiza's voice was sharp as a blade. We built everything to standard. We documented everything. We trained your people. But you know what? We were the ones who cared enough to work the night shifts when systems failed. We were the ones who saw patterns your species missed. We were the ones who understood that sometimes rules need to bend to save lives. She activated another display, showing thousands of repair requests, maintenance logs, and emergency interventions. Every single one of these was handled by humans. Not because you couldn't do it, but because we did it first. We did it faster. We did it better. What do you want? Velthan asked, his crystalline voice cracking slightly. Nick smiled, but there was no warmth in it. Nothing. We're leaving, just like you asked. Every human engineer, every technician, every doctor, every teacher, gone within the week. We'll even leave the documentation behind. You'll figure it out eventually. You had 10,000 years of peace before we showed up. I'm sure you'll be fine, Kiza added softly. You called us aggressive and unpredictable. Maybe you're right. We fight for things. We care too much. We don't accept impossible, or that's how it's always been. And apparently that makes us dangerous. She turned to leave, then paused. You wanted quiet, stable, predictable species around you. Well, you're about to get that. We'll leave quietly, just like you wanted, and you'll have all the peace and stability you can handle. As the two humans walked out, the council chamber's lights flickered, another human-designed system failing. High Arbiter Velthan looked at his fellow council members and saw his own realization reflected in their faces. They had dismissed humanity as primitive warmongers, never understanding that human aggression wasn't about violence. It was about refusing to accept defeat. About fighting entropy, incompetence, and complacency with the same ferocity they'd once fought wars. The Galactic Council had survived 10,000 years by avoiding risks, eliminating variables, and maintaining careful balance. Humans had threatened that balance simply by caring too much about making things work. Send a message to Ambassador Kiza, Velthan said quietly. Tell her we wish to renegotiate. But in his crystalline heart, he already knew. Humans didn't just leave quietly. They left thoroughly. And the Council had just learned the most important lesson about humanity. They were the glue holding everything together, precisely because everyone else had forgotten how.